How's it going, guys? This is Chris AD again with another video, and today we actually have something a bit different. So Injured Gadgets was kind enough to give us this aixun. I don't know how it's pronounced, don't blame me on how I'm pronouncing it. Yaxun, I don't know, but it's the T3A. It's the soldering station, as you guys can see right here. I did turn it on, just wanted to make sure that it's good, try to connect it as fast as I can. I want to just do like a quick review on this compared to my Hako station. It would have been a better comparison with my other JBC station, however it's on my other desk and my other desk is occupied at the moment. So I'm just gonna give a quick comparison between the Yaxun and the Hako FM203. There's a marginally big difference in the price. So like, let's see, for example, right here, I'm on the Injured Gadgets website, right? So the recommended product on this, let's type in the model name. They also have a partnership with JC. It seems like it came in with a gift of JC drawing. It looks like it might be, I don't know what that is. I'll check it out. It might be a subscription or something, but so there's two models of this. There's the T3A and the T3B. The T3B is a bit better. It looks like it's the newer design. This where the iron holder is a bit better. This is kind of a little wonky. It doesn't have like the copper braids that you could use to clean the tip. However, this costs, the T3A costs $153.21 on Injured Gadgets. And the aixun T3B, it costs $169. This is the one I would recommend you guys use. It looks like it's the same head unit. The only difference would be the iron holder. It seems a bit sturdy. You have space where you can put the tips. You have space where you can disconnect the tips, and you have the braids right there where you can actually clean the head of the tip. So they gave us the T3A to review. We're gonna do the review on this. However, there's virtually no difference between the head unit itself and the iron. It's the same iron as the T3B. So this comparison is also viable for the T3B. Now, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and first we're gonna do like a solder test between tips to see how fast, we wanna see how fast it gets hot. Right now it's in standby. They're both on sleep, as you guys can see. I'm not gonna use the micro pencil. I am gonna use the big tip on the Hako. They're both at sleep right now. I wanna see how fast they get hot, how steady it is to melt solder, how steady it is to wick an iPhone XS Max board that we are currently working on. And we will also demonstrate whether we can remove like a capacitor or resistor, how easy it is to remove a capacitor or resistor using the iron instead of hot air. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So first things first, I want to go ahead and grab the T3A. You guys can see it's getting pretty warm fast. It's set as 350. So it did look like it got hot at 400, and now it's regulating back to 350. It does have 3 channels, as you guys can see. They're from factory set at 280, 350, and 380. You can adjust that in settings. I want to show the comparison first, then we can go ahead and show you the different settings that it has. You can also see right here, it does show the ambient temperature, which is 23 degrees Celsius. So let's go ahead. Now let's just clean up the tip because I tried to use it first. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and check how easy it melts the solder, which is pretty steady, honestly, and the tips are pretty decent, as you guys can see. It is warm. It is warm enough at 350. It's plenty of temperature. It doesn't hesitate at all to melt this type of wire. Let's go ahead and try our Hako in comparison. So for example, the Hako, let's see how fast it warms up. Let me just untangle the wire. So the Hako is set in Fahrenheit, so it is at 750 Fahrenheit, which should be almost equivalent. I have a different, bigger tip on this. However, let's go ahead and in comparison, they're almost the same. They melt at the same speed and everything, which is very expectable. So it's very well. It's expected. I would want to say. Now, also another reason why I didn't want to go through first telling you about the tips and the machine, it's because what actually matters is how reliable it is doing day-to-day soldering jobs, instead of like, oh wow, it has a fancy tip, it uses JBC tips, oh my god, it has different settings. It's not really what matters. What matters is how reliable it is. So we have a good wick that we're gonna use to desolder this interposer. So first we're gonna do it with this. The reason why I don't have a chisel tip on the other one is because I don't really like using the chisel tip much. I like to use this type that I showed you guys on my hackle. But let's go ahead, just make sure it's warm enough. It does get warm pretty fast. It does get back to temperature pretty quick. So let's go ahead. It is wicking it pretty decent. Let's try to go a little bit fast to see the temperature wise. That's pretty good actually, that's not bad. So as you guys can see, it's pretty steady. It does wick pretty nice. Let's clean up the tip. I definitely recommend again getting, if you guys would want to get this after this review, I would definitely recommend getting the 3B because it does come with the tip cleaner better than this. Let's go ahead and cut that. Let's try with the hackle. Okay, now we're gonna do this side with the hackle. So this is a kind of a different tip. It's expected that this tip would probably get a bit more hotter than the other one, but however, this tip is big enough to do micro soldering jobs, so it should be good enough for wicking. Could be good enough to do any soldering work on any iPhone board. So let's go ahead and use this tip. So as you guys can see, they are pretty steady as far as temperature wise and wicking capabilities. Let's go fast on this stretch so you can show you guys. Warm up the tip. All right, nice, there you go. So as you guys can see, they are pretty steady with the temperature. This tip is obviously has a smaller diameter than the chisel tip. Temperature wise, wicking is very decent. Now what matters is, can you remove a resistor with this machine, right? So the resistors, they obviously, well, big capacitors like on MacBook boards and such, they tend to suck up a bit of heat. So let me just get a board real quick. All right. So we have here, it's a MacBook board from a, looks like it's a 1706 or something similar. I believe it's 1706. Let me check the model number. 00850. Yeah, it's a 1706 because it has CD3215s. All right, so let's go ahead and do something, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our flux and then we're gonna try to remove, I'm gonna find a decent size capacitor that can handle, let me see the diameter of this tip. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so let me go ahead and try to showcase it on this capacitor right here. Okay, so we have two capacitors right next to each other. I'm gonna remove one with the T3A and I'm gonna remove the second with the Hako, and I want to do a comparison as far as like how easy it is. Let me try to see if I can get my chisel tip just so I can make it a better comparison. Let me get my chisel tip. Alright. Well, this chisel tip has seen better days. No, it's okay. I'll let me see this one. Yeah, all right. This one is it's the same size almost. Let's do a comparison real quick. So it's almost the same size. This is a bit finer, I would say, but we will see how good it is and how effective. Let's just change the tip on our Hako real quick. Don't mind the loud beep. Put this here. Just put this on the side. Alright, clean this step up. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to remove this capacitor right here, right? So now we filled up with flux. Let's go ahead, clean up the tip again. Add solder to the tip. Just have a good enough blob. It is starting to get dark because it looks like the tip is still running hot. Let's clean it up again. We don't want to use it when the flux on there is burning already. All right, let's try again. All right, grab our tweezers. Let's go ahead and see how reliable it is to remove this capacitor. So I can see it move. There you go. So I mean, it wasn't bad removing it with a big solder blob. It did stay hot, it did stay consistent. I'm not sure if the video would have showcased the power right there. I didn't really pay attention, I was actually looking there. I'm not sure if we had grabbed it. Did we grab it? Mostré esto en el video? We will check again, we will double check. Let's go ahead and do it with the Hako now. Put a bit more flux. Let's use our solder. I gotta find a better setup for my Hako. Also, there's a big size difference between both. However, the Hako does have 2 tips advantage. Okay, compared to the Hako removed it very easily. It came out straight. That could be due to the tip size. Obviously, this is a fatter tip. This is a bigger tip. We are using it on a big board. However, this did not hesitate to remove this capacitor. So let's go ahead and check again on another similar capacitor right here, just to see how much power it consumes. If you guys can see the percentage right here, how much power it uses to actually get that removed. So let's go ahead and showcase that. Put flux, put solder on the tip, clean the tip pretty well. Okay, nice decent solder blob on there. So let's go ahead and check. You guys can see the power. Oh, it actually removed this one pretty fast, and it only used up to 15% power, which is actually kind of really good, really impressive. So far I really like the tip. Holding it wise, it is a bit thinner than the Hako, obviously. If you guys can obviously look at the diameter, it's thinner. Tip to base ratio, it's almost similar. If you want to say, it's pretty good. Obviously, it is a bit shorter a pen, so if you kind of compare it with the base right there, it is a bit shorter. Obviously, it is a thinner tip, it is a thinner base. They use JBC tips. They use the C245. As you guys can see with the box, it comes with 3 tips, You have the chisel tip, you have the conical. This is the conical. Yeah, you guys can see right there. And you have the straight one. And they're pretty thin. They should be all the tips you need, honestly, to do board repair on an iPhone. This is pretty thin enough. This is pretty decent. This is small enough for where you can wick. You might also want to get a finer tip if you want to do like smaller jumpers, but I'm pretty sure you can get those from Injured Gadget's website. I'll link it in the description of this video. It's gonna go on YouTube, it's gonna go on Facebook. So other than that, it's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and show you guys some of the settings. Before I go into settings, I want to say I really like this tip. It's pretty decent. I am actually surprised at the temperature consistency, to where it was able to remove a big capacitor without hesitating. If you try that with a JBC, the smaller tips with the nano station, it's gonna hesitate, it's gonna choke a bit. It will still remove it, but it would require a bit more power. As you guys can see, this only needed 15% power right there. It only needed 15% power to remove this capacitor, which was pretty impressive in my opinion. Let's go ahead and dive into settings of this machine right here. So let's go ahead and show you guys. So right now it's actually cooling because it's in the base, right? So let's click set, and this is the settings. Now first things first, when you first receive it, it's gonna be in Chinese. So this knob, I don't really like it much because it takes 2 clicks to move whatever you want to call a unit or whatever. So click 2, it moves. Click 2, I don't like it. I want each click to move a setting. But first it comes in Chinese, right? So it's gonna look like this. You click set, you go down to English, click English, and now it's in English. So you can set up max temp, which I think is pretty cool. It won't get hotter than that. So sorry. So you don't click this set, you click this knob right there to enter. So max temp is set as 500. You obviously do not want to go to 500. You want to set it up at lower, but we'll go ahead and play with that later. You can lock the temperature. It would remain the same temperature if you want. It'll be on, off. Dormancy, I'm assuming when it goes to sleep. You can put a sleep timer, you can put a standby mode, temperature, dormancy temp, basically what temperature you want the tip to sleep at. Delay, if you want it after you put it in there, if you want it to go to sleep immediately or you want it to wait a few seconds. Dormancy show, I don't know why it says it in Chinese. Off, on. Anyways, dormancy show, basically it will show that if it's sleeping or not. Sleep timer, it would go to sleep automatically. Standby mode. Now let's go ahead back. Now you have sound. You can get rid of the annoying beep. As you guys can see, it doesn't beep anymore. Temp level, these are for the channels. You have 3 channels. You have 280, you have 350, you have 380. These comes default. You can change whichever temperature you want. I believe 350 is perfect for almost any application you would need. 280 would be ideal if you want to do small jumpers on if you're fixing a home button, for example. I would say you can use 280. 280 is very convenient. It doesn't burn the flex cable, doesn't burn the flux too fast, and it won't damage the wire. You can reset it. Temperature unit, if you're accustomed to Celsius like me, you can keep it to Celsius. You want to switch it to Fahrenheit, you can. However, Celsius is the way to go in my opinion. Also, system info, basically it tells you that this is the T3A, the software version, hardware version, blah blah blah. So let's go ahead and look at the back of this unit, right? So the back of this unit, as you guys can see, on off button, it has an output DC of 24 volts. You have this is a ground that I have attached to the table, and you have this is for the sleep sensor for the cutting. One moment, I'll be right with you. This is the on and off button, and there you guys have it. My opinion is I really recommend this station. It is pretty decent, it is pretty sturdy. It does save you space, and it should be able to handle any job you throw at it pretty much. Thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, have a good day.